What's up, everybody? I'm Derek Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back, and I have the pleasure of bringing you Atlas Fallen. This is going to be a complete combat guide into the game, how the combat system works, some synergies I've created, essentially builds that work together well to make you have the best experience when you're playing the game. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. My family, without further ado, let's dive in. Starting off, we have 3 weapons we can choose. You have 2 weapons to use at one time. We have our Sandwhip, then we have our Knuckledust, then we have our Dunecleaver. And if you look at the right hand side, it tells you the attack speed, the impact, the momentum gain you'll use by utilizing this weapon. You can tell this one has fast attack speed, but you don't get that much momentum. This one gains a lot of momentum, which kind of makes it the best all-around weapon. And this one's really kind of just like average in terms of the attack. So starting off, you press square, you have your standard whip attacks. You can do 4 attack chains at one time. You can also, when you hit triangle, you hit your other weapon you have equipped. Cool thing is you can actually have 2 presets, 3 presets at one time when you're using your character, which allows you to switch the weapons you're using. The only thing is, once you get into a battle, you're unable to switch your preset anymore. But say before you get into the battle, you can switch out whichever one you currently like and go from there. You can also switch in between both the attacks, and they kind of have some different moves depending on what you use. So if I'm using the knuckles and I hit the sword, it kind of does a little backwards attack like that to kind of protect yourself and dodge yourself, reposition yourself. So my 4 attack chain looks like that. My 5 attack chain looks like that. The knuckles just keep on going. It just, as you know earlier, it doesn't build up that much momentum, but it has an infinite amount of combo you can use at one time. So now also too, you can do these combos on the ground, then you can do these combos in the air. When you jump and you use them, you do your 5 hit and you come down. Or if you do the same thing with your knuckle, use the moves you in the air, and just like before on the ground, you can interchange them depending on like what you like and whichever you start off with. If you hit your R2 button, it'll take you, if you're on the ground, it'll take you up into the air, which is really good for doing major, like multiple attacks hits on the bosses. And if you're in the air or whatever, if you hit it again, it'll take you down. So you can alternate between being on the ground and being in the air depending on what kind of enemy you're fighting against, to make sure you maximize your damage. When you hit the L1 button, you do your Sandskin. Essentially what this is, if an enemy hits you while you still have your window up, you will parry the attack. So let me go against the enemy right now so you can see what that looks like. Like that. And when you parry the attack, the enemy gets a little shield on them. And when you get 3 shields, when you hit 3 hits at once on the enemy, it gives you the ability to do a little, freeze the enemy, allowing you to get some free hits on them. Okay. Just like that. After you get 3 hits, you shatter them just like that, giving you a free opportunity to use any of your abilities and get those free hits as well. So next, I want to talk about the momentum gauge. The momentum gauge is a blue gauge that shows in the bottom left. Essentially what the momentum gauge is, based on how high it goes, it has 3 levels to it. There's a 1 level, as you see, I'm about to fill up 1 level right now. The more you attack the enemy, the more the gauge fills up. So at this point, right now I have 1 level gauge of momentum. I lost one, hold on. Right now I have 1 level gauge of momentum. All the 3 skills right there on the bottom are now currently active because I've got to the respective areas. This also gives me the ability to use my splash skill. That skill is you hit R2 and L2 and you do a major attack like that, which does a little damage, but it uses all your gauge as well. The thing about the momentum is the higher that the gauge goes up, the more damage you do, but at the same time it's risky because the more higher it goes up, the more damage you receive as well. So you want to be careful that you're parrying your attacks, that way you're not getting yourself in a situation where you can't take your momentum. The last thing I want to show you before I go into my skills is air combat. So air combat is a little different in this game, in the fact that if you attack an enemy while you're in the air, it resets your attacking gauge so you can continuously stay in the air almost infinitely. So I attack, I hit him again, resets my attacking gauge, Attacking again, resets my attacking gauge. You can kind of stay in the air as long as you want. In case you want to hit a specific body part, you can kind of keep turning it. You want to take it down, you use the R2 and you're back down. You have different abilities and skills you can equip at one time, which I'll show in a second. The one I have two right now, I have a cyclone skill just like that. And also I have this dash that's really cool that interrupts the enemy attack and does some really good damage. There's multiple ways you can take the enemies down because there's lots of skills available to you, so you get a chance to kind of mix and match and play whatever fits your playstyle. Also too, if you look at my weapon, your weapon actually ascends. So the higher level your gauge goes, your weapon gets stronger and stronger and stronger. You see how it has these little things around it now? That's because it ascended. Same thing with these. Look at that. Look at my fist now. So your weapon ascends as you go up. The problem is when your momentum goes down, it starts to go back to its original form. So the benefits of keeping your momentum up and not using your super is you get stronger overall attacks, or you can kind of hit R2 and L2 and use your big attack and do a big old AoE skill that's most likely going to kill the enemy off. So let's go into the skills that you have. So this is what I was talking about earlier. It's a little hard to show on battle, but you have 3 tiers of abilities. You have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And if you look at it, there's a little outline around the skill that I'm talking about at the moment, and it tells you what slots can go what area. So for example, this little bronze, these are bronze around these two out. This one's bronze, this one's silver, and this is gold. The bronze can only go in the first bronze category. Silver can only go in the silver category, and the gold will only go in the gold slots. Same thing goes for the skill as well. These 3, 4, or 5 are bronze skills. 6, they only go in this slot. Silver skills only go in here. And I only have currently 1 gold skill when I can unlock this one as well if I wanted to. So this is a gold skill. And the way it works is as your momentum level goes from level 1, you can, as your momentum level gets past that first block, you can use that skill. When your momentum gets past the level 2 skill, that skill is now active, and so on and so on and so on. So in order for you to utilize your skill sets that you have all the way on your gold tier, you have to build your momentum all the way up to that level so I could take advantage of these skills. And these skills are really good. Sandskin automatically parries incoming attacks that effect can occur every 22 seconds. So every 22 seconds, I will automatically parry an attack. This one's also cool as well. After shattering, leaves behind a damaging area effect lasting for 13 seconds. So I use my big shatter skill, and after that, I have an AoE ability that's going to be left behind, which is cool. But the thing is, you want to make sure that your skills that they're going to build your momentum. This is my build I'm currently using, are going to be earlier on in your selection. For example, I have this parry skill. Unsuccessful parries generate moderate amount of momentum. Momentum is the most important thing in this most important resource when it comes to combat, because that's how you can activate your skills and do more damage as well. This next one I have significantly increases your momentum generation, but you lose a small amount of momentum when you get hit. If you notice the little black effects that are like floating on the actual skill, what that means is this is I forgot what they called it. It's a higher tier skill, but what happens is it has a negative effect as well to it. So that's why it says, yeah, slightly increase momentum, but you lose some amount of momentum as well. This one, your weapon has a small chance to generate some momentum, and you and your ally in exchange for a small amount of your health. So they're good, but they have some kind of drawback to them to kind of balance everything out. So my current build is I like this skill over here because it's fast, interrupts the enemy real quick because of low cooldown. I build momentum here. I try my best to parry so I'm not losing momentum, so I'm just gaining momentum. This next skill, it just increases my overall damage. And this one, on successful parries, I build momentum because my goal is to stay in my level 2 so I can activate my other skills. When defeating a foe, you destroy a body part, significantly increase your damage. So defeat an enemy or destroy the body part, increasing my damage as well. Next skill I have on there, significantly increase your damage or your shatter, which is good. And last but not least, I have this one, which increases the amount of momentum generated when defeating foes. You're not generating more generous amount of momentum when destroying body parts. So as you notice, this is a momentum build, so I can continue to gain as much momentum as possible, so I can keep doing that big damage, whether I'm using my regular abilities or I'm using my shatter skill. And it doesn't stop there. If you notice, you can also upgrade your skills, and it tells you the ingredients you need in the bottom right and what you need to level your skills up to make them even stronger. Every skill you have can be leveled up and taken to the next level. These idols, or what these are, these affect your healing. I have this one equipped. It increases the restoration rate of your idol, and the further your momentum gauges fill. So the higher my momentum gauge is, the more my idol regenerates. And I'll talk about armor as well. So armor is good because it tells you there's different levels of armor you can find while you're going through the game. It gives you different attributes as you're going through as well. If you notice, this armor I'm using right now, I'll talk about it in a different video. It gives me additional 9 damage, and also gives me your active stones have significantly reduced cooldown. So with the way you level up your armor is you go to the anvil, you level them up, and each level you get new perks, and the perks allow you to customize how your character interacts. Even after you take off the armor, you get the perk points. You keep the skills you get from adding in those perks. The combat in this game is fun. It's action packed. It's in depth. There's lots of things you can do and customize to fit your playstyle. But this is kind of just a beginner's guide for people that are diving into the game. They want to know how to take advantage of it and then what all the things you can do. There's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of combos that you can put together and a lot of builds you can use as well. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys find value in the video. Wanted to break down the information for everyone that's diving into the game. If you're new, make sure you guys subscribe, like, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, dear gamers, signing out.